Welcome back.
We need to add a little more storage over here. When I built this out, I really should have ripped this whole thing off, but I already have my light strip attached to it right here. I want to make a little shelf that will come out so we could put any little small items that keep them from flying around all over the place. So we're going to cut this out, a little section of it, leave our light strip in place. So I'm going to cut along right along here and down and remove this little section. And we're going to build a little wooden shelf that's going to fit in here. We'll be cutting it with a little multifunction tool. One corner is still hanging in there. And there we go. We will be attaching our shelf to this here. These screws are put in when I think when the sheet metal was put up on the roof to kind of hold it up, so we could pull those out. They don't have to stay. I've seen those in the other parts of the bus. We have to shove a little more insulation in here because they really didn't get down in here too far. And that's all the shelf space we're going to use. Like I said, at the time when I was building this, I just left these in place because it was the easiest thing to do. But hindsight, I would have ripped them down. But our lights could stay up here now. See if they still work. Yep. And we'll fill in the gap with a little wooden shelf. Now, with the scrap piece, what are we going to do? Turn it around. We're going to use that to fill in the top over here and kind of reinforce that edge. So I'm going to cut off this flange and round that off smoothly so it'll hang over a little bit over that little cut line. So this way when you're sticking your hands up there, you won't be rubbing it against any sharp plastic. So take this inside, give it a good cutting. Probably end up cutting it off around here because the shelf will actually be like a box that's going to attach on. Scribed a little line across here, and 10 snips worked really good. I cut this little piece off over here already as a practice, so I'm just going to snip it off by hand. Maybe give it a light sanding, and that will be our little cover for the edge. It's going to go in there just like that. Just enough to cover that little edge. Kind of stiffen that up a little bit more. Perfect. Might just silicone it up there. I'll wait till the shelf is built to see how we finally attach it.
And look, we got free lumber. I found a way to take these apart really quick. The coring bit is made out of a tine off of an aerating machine.
Cut the ends with the Sawzall, and the rest of this just lifts right off. Quicker than driving to the lumber yard, and a lot cheaper too.
And now you could easily pry the nails out of these.
Here is a rough prototype that I put together in about 5 minutes, just to get an idea of where we're going. This will work. And here's all our pieces. Waves are not symmetrical, so neither are mine. I just free-handed those and cut them with a jigsaw. So we're going to sand all this stuff down, and then we're going to glue it and brad nail it all together. Real simple, no complicated tools here. A quick belt sanding, nice and smooth, or smooth enough. Got to sand the edge here by hand. Perfect. So how are we going to attach these? I drilled 2 holes over here. That'll take a rivet nut. This will go in. You need to buy the tool. It'll compress that down, and now you have threads permanently mounted inside anything you want. Fiberglass, plastic, aluminum. Not very expensive to buy the tool, but really handy when you're building a Skoolie. Let's check the weather. Lousy. I'll stay in here and keep working. Pop it in and squeeze. And unthread the tool. Now your bolt can go right in. Yeah, that'll work. Now we just gotta go assemble the real good one now. We have our little plastic trim piece siliconed in here now and all taped up. You'll let that dry overnight. This is the board that's going to be the back of the shelf. We had it fixed up in there right now, just loosely sitting. That's holding up the back of that trim piece over there too. So that can dry. Then we could take this out and actually assemble the shelf. These are just getting glued and air stapled or air nailed together. You could actually use just regular nails if you want to also. The glue is the key to holding it together. My kitchen cabinets were put together this way 2 years ago and they are still rock solid. Wipe off the glue that's oozing out and let it dry. Then we'll sand down any of the edges to feather them down and round off some of these corners. That'll be a real simple carpentry. Anybody can do this. A couple of coats of varnish. And we're going to have my daughter paint some little designs on it also. And then we'll revarnish it again. And what does every shelf need? A USB plug. I'm going to try to snake a wire through the speaker hole and over from our fan so we could power this thing up. So you could put your phone up there and charge it. Hopefully I'll get the line pulled through. How's the weather doing here? It's getting worse. Can't wait for spring and summer. Snaking wires, not fun. See if we can get these. It's a hard time just getting the snake fed down because we have insulation stuffed up in there and there's a big beam that runs across inside over here, so you have to kind of get it behind it. So this is actually going closer to the roof section above the insulation here, and then this side we're going to have to get under the insulation, I believe, to get to where the fan power is. Was just able to squeeze that in. This is going under the insulation here. So I had a little bit of a bend in this thing, so we would kind of just skate along on the top of the ceiling. And then we'll be able to pull our wire all the way through. I did not want to take all of these screws down. That would be crazy. Going fishing. That's close on the ground wire. I knew that. Yeah, we'll make it work. Gotta get this connected up to this. Wiring is all done. We got power coming to our plug over here now. Perfect. Perfect spot for a Bluetooth speaker to sit up here. We can leave it plugged in. And my daughter did another excellent job on adding some details to this. There was already the holes, so she goes, I'm going to make bubbles. She painted little bubbles and a shell. And then she even put a little detail on the little block that we have over here. Painted a little crab holding this little cup holder up. A little more added storage, always needed. Let's check the weather. Beautiful day at the beach in February. We couldn't resist. Fabricating some new storage baskets out of old closet organizer baskets. Been cutting them apart and bending them up, but I was going back and forth, bringing the vise inside. I have this old clamp-on vise that I got from my grandpa, I think. Works great. Craftsman. Old school tools work the best. We got one side figured out, and you're bending up this one to match.
All welded up. We have our welder set at the lowest setting so we won't burn it up too much. Now we just got to clean this thing up and give it a quick paint job.
All done. Perfect spot for a towel, sweatshirts, and a ukulele.